Loveshack, guys. Today we're doing another deck profile video, so we're trying to get some more deck profiles out relatively regularly, because I know people have asked, what decks you're playing now, what other things you do out, and obviously I want to make sure if I'm putting out a deck profile that it's at least something I've had a chance to play with, familiarize myself with, etc. That's why today we're doing an Evil Eye deck profile. I've actually been a huge fan of this deck for a long time, but I was waiting for the right kind of opportunity to really showcase it and get a build I was comfortable with, and even then I think this kind of has a lot of room for improvement. But as it stands, I'm happy enough with it to go ahead and do a deck profile. So as you guys, before we jump into the deck profile, please, if you're not subscribed already, click that subscribe button, the bell icon if you'd like. We do giveaways in all of our regular opening videos, so if you want a chance to win, be entered into giveaway pools, that's where you want to head out to check that out. But in the meantime, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's jump into the Evil Eye deck profile. So this is a really cool deck. It's very control-oriented. I would say it's like a combination of control and stun. It definitely takes a lot of skill to pilot, and I'm not entirely sure that I'm, the best pilot of it. I think some people that have been playing the deck a lot longer might have a really good sense of how to actually utilize it, but I think I'm competent enough to give you my build here. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, and what I'm going to do actually is just zoom that a little so that you guys get a up-close, better view of what we're working with here. So for the main deck, triple Surzeal, Watcher of the Evil Eye. This is the play starter of your deck, the best card your deck has access to realistically. When it's normal summon, you add an Evil Eye card from deck to hand, and then if it's equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, you actually get a quick effect where you can destroy an opponent's special summon monster. So it's a neat utility piece, but it also is just a solid card to have out and gives you a sort of an escape to an opponent's play. I mean, yeah, it can be impermanent or be stopped by other plays, but it's definitely still difficult to get over. Alright, so we've got two Cataplebis, Familiar of the Evil Eye. This is essentially just Graveyard Revival, so if it's in grave, you control an Evil Eye, you special summon it, banish it when it leaves the field. It also has an effect, target an Evil Eye spell or trap you control until the end of the next turn. That card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, so if you do have it on the field, you can go ahead and, target your Selene, protect it while it's in the spell and trap zone, and then, go ahead and link away with him or do whatever you want to do there. Two Medusa. Now this is, I'll tell you, I'm not a huge fan of this card at 2, but there's a few reasons for it. For one, it does give you access to, like, first turn, or at least rebound, like, Abyss Dweller, Tornado Dragon, and stuff in certain scenarios. When it's normal summon, you can target a Evil Eye card in your grave and add it to your hand. Problem is, you're just almost never going to normal summon this. Like, you want to normal summon Surzeal, and if you get later into a game and you still have this and you can normal summon it, then that's great. But ultimately, you're not going to be normal summoning it too often. It also has a Called by the Grave-ish effect, where if it's equipped with Selene, you can banish a monster from your opponent's graveyard during either player's turn. So that's pretty cool. And then two Basilisks, Familiar of the Evil Eye. Special summon it from your hand if you control an Evil Eye monster, which is neat. And then once per turn, you can send an Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard. So it sends your Gorgoneo, which we'll get to briefly. That allows you to search for any Evil Eye spell or trap from your deck to your hand. But it can also send Selene so that you can use its effect to set itself. Just a really good enabler and an extender. And then for my hand traps, 3 Ash Blossom. This card gets even better in this deck, obviously, without Called by the Grave being at 3. You can really sort of hit some of the key plays, and the deck plays a lot of back row and sort of stun cards within archetype and otherwise, so it works well. And that's it for the monsters. Very small monster lineup, all things considered. Relatively small trap lineup, too. A lot of the deck is spell heavy, so triple Pot of Extravagance. I mean, this is just insane draw power. The extra deck is important, but not super important. Definitely, I mean, I play some duplicates in there for certain things, but it's ultimately not crucial. You can still set up a really strong board with some negates and playthroughs without actually going into the extra deck at all, so Extrav doesn't hurt you nearly as much as it helps you. Triple Evil Eye Domain Paradoia. This is a field spell. When it's activated, you add an Evil Eye monster from deck to your hand. Also makes it so that if your Evil Eye monster is attacked, your opponent takes the same amount of damage that you would if it's equipped with Evil Eye of Selene. So it's not frequent that this happens, but it's a neat little extra thing that the card has. And then if it's destroyed in a field zone, you can add an Evil Eye monster from your grave to your hand. Obviously, if your opponent pops it, then that's great, although I don't know why they would. But if you pop it with your own cards like Selene, Surzeal, rather, or Gorgon or something like that, then you can also trigger its effect, so it's really good. Double Foolish Burial Goods. A lot of your deck does have graveyard access. Selene can set itself from grave. Gorgoneo can banish itself to search. Some of your other ones, which I don't use too frequently, but some of the other ones can also, like, banish themselves to protect your spells and traps on the field. Just overall, a really good card that is helpful. I meant to put that with the field spells. I didn't. The one Terraforming You want to see Paradoiler as soon as possible. And then Double Awakening. This is special summon an Evil Eye monster for your hand or graveyard, but if Selene is in your spell and trap card zone, you can special summon one from the deck. So this is a really cool, like, especially opening turn, kind of play this with Surzeal, special summon Basilisk from deck if you don't happen to have them in your hand, mill a card, and sets you up for some sweet extensions. One Evil Eye Repose. I don't inherently love this card, or Repose, I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, whatever. When you activate this card, banish an Evil Eye card from your graveyard, draw a card, and then it basically banishes an opponent's monster that an Evil Eye battles, so it has some neat combos there. Obviously, it does conflict with Pot of Extravagance, which is why I only play it at 1, but I think it's infrequent enough where it's still really good to have access to, especially later in the game. 2 Evil Eye of Selene. You don't need 3. It's recyclable. Basically, equipped to an Evil Eye, can't be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects, and your opponent can't target it with card effects. Gets attack gain each time you activate an Evil Eye spell or trap, or its own effect, and then if it's in the grave, you banish an Evil Eye spell or trap, and then set it to the field, so you can dump this from deck, and then also equip it to make all of your cards have their bonus effects. Same with Evil Eye of Gorgoneo. This is a 2 of as well. It's treated as Selene on the field. If your Evil Eye monster is equipped with it and your life points are lower than your opponent's, that monster gains attack equal to the difference. And then this is where you banish from grave, discard an Evil Eye card, and add an Evil Eye spell or trap from deck to hand. So that's an insane, just really good consistency that the deck didn't have access to when it was first released. And then, of course, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Just, you know, again, this is a deck that if you are forced to go second, or just in general having outs to problem cards there is solid. And then the 1 Evil Eye Reemergence. Really like this card, but it does lock you into Fiends, and it is not as... It's not as consistent as I'd like, but it is recyclable enough with Medusa and other things if you do get into a late game where you can revive it, put a couple tokens out, and then you can special summon, you know, one of your bigger monsters or an Unchained Abomination, something like that. So that's that. For the traps, triple Infinite Impermanence, just overall the best hand trap. Triple Solemn Judgment. So in addition to just being really good in any type of stun deck, Solemn Judgment actually halves your life points, which then makes your Evil Eye of Gorgoneo give your monster a 4,000 boost, because your life points are lower than your opponent. So if you have your life points, you know, negate something, you can then play off those lower life points to actually get, you know, more damage out of your equipped spells. 2 Retribution. This is basically just negates a spell or trap that's activated if you control an Evil Eye monster. If Selene is in the monster zone, then your opponent cannot respond to this card. So insanely good. And then Evil Eye Defeat. If you control an Evil Eye monster, you can target 1 monster on the field, turn it to the hand, or up to 2 monsters if Selene is in your spell and trap zone. So this is a really good card to see first turn. Typically, I'll search it at the end of the combo, and then you have a lot of disruption for whatever your opponent's going to do. So that's exactly 40. Really solid far as the main deck goes. The extra deck is just, I mean, about as standard as you're going to get. Triple Gorgon, which is the Evil Eye boss monster. Sadly, no Prismatics. Gains 100 attack for each Evil Eye card with a different name in the grave. If it's equipped with Selene, you can target an effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effects till the end of the turn. That is similar to Impermanence, so it does not matter if the monster leaves the field, it will follow, which is just a really, really neat, like, utility piece for the deck. And she's pretty tough. I mean, even resolving her effect once will, while she's equipped with Selene, will get her an attack boost up to 2,400. And, you know, with her own boosting, you can get it higher than that. 2 Masquerena, just because of Extravagance, so I have a duplicate in here. And then 2 Zerzeal, Ruler of the Evil Eye. This guy's okay. If he's Link Summoned using a monster with 2,600 or more attack, he can attack twice during each battle phase. And then if he's equipped with Selene, you can, once per turn, quick effect, pop a card your opponent controls. So just overall, a neat card. I don't go into him a ton, but he's cool to have access to. And then Unchained Abomination is a rank 4 Fiend. Link 4 Fiend, sorry. So if you are locked under Awakening and you don't have any other options, you can put him out. Nightmare package is pretty standard, but that's there. They're all Fiends, so having access to them is great. So 2 rank 4s, Abyss Dweller and Tornado Dragon. You don't go into it much, but this is a powerful card. Like, there are some times where you can end with, like, Abyss Dweller and then have, like, some Gorgon equipped with Selene, so you have a negate and your opponent's graveyard is shut off. So it's neat to have access to a few of them. Then the 1 Avermax, again, this can get banished with Extravagance. It's not something I rely on, but it's nice to have with Masquerena. And, of course, the 1 Almirage. This is simply in here because if you have no other choice and you have to, say, normal summon, like Basilisk or something, he's 400 attack, so if you do normal summon him and you activate his effect to mill something, you can then link him away, and depending on what you mill, you know, you have ways to revive. I don't go into it a ton, but at least you know, you can make some of your other cards a little less dead if you have access to it. So overall, that's the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think of Evil Eye. Do you have your own takes on it? Do you have maybe different ways you'd want to build it or put it together? Really appreciate any and all feedback you drop below. Let me know what other decks you'd like to see. I'm still working on other deck profiles, so they will come out as they are done, and I'm happy enough with them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here at Loveshack.